Welcome to the main event. This is Chill Squad. I'm Jacob. That's Ryan.
What's up?
Ryan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing good, and I don't believe you. Anyway,
What?
all right. So I want to let you guys know we got this episode out a little bit late than we would like to. We had some technical difficulties shooting the last episode, but it seems
Yeah.
like things are all moving good right now, and then we'll move back to our originally planned schedule that we had.
Yeah, and don't worry, we're gonna go over everything that happened over the weekend. That would have we normally wouldn't have talked about before. We would have saved it for the next episode, but you're gonna be hearing about it. Might be an extra longer episode. We'll see.
A special event episode. So I wanted to start out talking about something that we talked about in our last overtime episode. Someone that we talked about. Little plug right here. Overtime is our other episode that we do surrounding other sports, and then the main event is where we talk about our wrestling content. So first thing I want to start out with was there are rumors that Bad Bunny is returning to wrestling sooner rather than later. So, with that in mind, who do you see him going against at perhaps WrestleMania?
With how the landscape is right now, I feel like you got to give it to Logan Paul. Let's get a celebrity v celebrity matchup for WrestleMania. Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny. They can do an Extreme Rules. It's okay. I think just like those two in the ring would be absolutely electric for the crowd because nobody likes Logan Paul, but I'm sure a ton of people would love Bad Bunny.
Yeah, I think that would definitely be interesting. I think that's probably the top way I see it going right now. That would also be like a huge match outside of wrestling since both those guys have a really big social media following.
Right.
I could also see him doing like a tag match, some sort of tag match against the Vision with Logan Paul included.
Like Jelly
Or
Roll. Like the Jelly Roll match.
maybe Jelly Roll and Bad Bunny versus the Vision.
Oh God. That would be what a slot for the WrestleMania card. What a spot for there. I also believed it was Logan Paul because I know there's an interview that happened with Logan Paul where he probably was staying in character, but they talked about the Bad Bunny halftime show. And he's like, "Oh, you like the Bad Bunny halftime show?" And then Logan Paul walked up and was like, "No." And he like completely shut that shit down. So I could definitely see them utilizing that, WWE utilizing that as a storyline, especially knowing that Bad Bunny's possibly coming back.
Yeah. I could also see another direction if they want to keep him away from the Vision. I could see them doing something with Dominic Mysterio because that's kind of a story that they haven't really finished telling out when Bad Bunny left the WWE.
Yeah, you got a good point there. I definitely agree. Dominic Mysterio would be a great option. Other than those two options, do you think there would be any other like that you could see happening? I know you talked about that tag team earlier, but any other matchups?
I'm not sure. Maybe they put him in Elimination Chamber and he wins it all. Like, it goes against Drew McIntyre for the title.
Drew McIntyre. Oh, that's crazy. We got a lot to talk about, man. I'm excited for like that the two SmackDowns that happened. But yeah, I think Logan Paul would probably be the best option in my opinion. But I would not hate if Dominic Mysterio was the matchup for WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good match, especially if they added like you said, Extreme Rules or like a street fight stipulation to it.
Hell yeah.
So I think we should get to SmackDown in a little bit. Let's start out with a little bit of AEW. Do some catch up on there. So 2 weeks ago, we haven't covered this at all.
February 4th.
We saw a couple of eliminator matches to decide number one contenders that just happened in AEW Grand Slam. So we saw tag team Mega Bad, which is Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, defeat the Babes of Wrath to become the number one women's tag team contender. Yeah. And then later in that episode, we also saw MJF get squashed by Brody King.
Oh, man, that's crazy. That was nuts.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
Man, I mean, Brody King getting a dub like that is just so shocking, especially with how they wanted to portray MJF at like the world champion in that moment. And knowing now like where they went with it for like because Grand Slam happened as we're recording yesterday. It's just crazy that they wanted to take that route of like that kind of squashing. I know there's like a running. I know there was a run in and all with Hangman Page, but like I said, like MJF is too good to have him in that position. Good for Brody King though. I mean, like it made him seem strong. So for Brody King fans out there, probably a good time.
Yeah, I do think it was kind of strange having your world champion get squashed, even though it's not like for a title match. It's just a weird decision.
Right.
Um, I guess you are building Brody King, but at the same point, you kind of knew that like if the title was on the line, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but you kind of knew that MJF was most likely going to retain the title. So
Yeah.
I don't really see the point of having a squash match like that.
Correct me if I'm wrong too. Going off from that, but I believe Andrade faced Kenny Omega that night. Correct?
Ooh, I don't remember if that night or was that the next week.
I believe that was that night. So looking back right now, just to give ourselves a reminder, Hangman Page in that tournament, that Eliminator tournament, beat Mark Davis from the Don Callis family,
Ooh,
and Andrade beat Kenny Omega. And I believe there was some beef. If I correct, I know there's so many shows that happened in between the last episode, so we know that Swerve Strickland was talking shit with Kenny Omega. I believe that match
yes,
was in there.
that match will be happening this next Wednesday.
Okay, so that happened after the Eliminator stuff. So thoughts so far on the Andrade push? I mean, to have him beat Kenny Omega that night.
I feel like that makes a lot of sense in my opinion. Kenny Omega's story right now is him going for the world championship, and I feel like that they could kind of cool down that storyline and take a little bit of time with it. Um, Andrade has been very hot, and I would have liked to see him end up winning the number one contendership. I
Right.
feel like him winning against Kenny Omega, I think that was the right decision in
Yeah.
the grand scheme of things. But it was still kind of crazy seeing because you see a guy like Kenny Omega and you think he's going to win that match.
Absolutely. He's a main draw. And Andrade, not too long ago, just kind of came back. So it's kind of cool to see them pushing him so hard in that night. And I'm trying to recall anything else. I mean, obviously, um, Hangman Page was going to beat Mark Davis, but it's really cool to see him kind of in that contention right now. They've been recently pushing Mark Davis to that kind of single style. Because before he was just kind of the big guy in the match that would just take a lot of the blows and he'd be the big powerhouse for the show. So it's kind of cool to see him potentially in that contender spot.
Well, and then they put him and Jake Doyle together, and I thought that was a really cool, really interesting tag team. I do think Jake Doyle recently did get. I could be wrong, but I think he's injured right now. So I'm glad they're still showcasing Mark Davis
Yeah, it's good
as
for
of right
him.
now.
Unfortunate for Doyle, but like I said, it's good for him to get out there. Anything
Yeah,
else that happened? I know the tag team championship eliminator match. Did we just talk about that with the Babes of the Wrath?
yeah. I think keeping the same topic of people that just recently joined the company have been pushed to the moon. We saw Tommaso Ciampa win the TNT title and then very shortly lose it just after to Kyle Fletcher, the following Dynamite after that.
Oh
So we'll move
yeah,
over
I
to the
wanted.
next Dynamite.
Yeah, well, this would be in between. There was a collision in between there, and I just want to say for the fans, a rule of thumb that I have is if you do not see anything being advertised on a Dynamite, don't even bother watching the collision. Collisions are either complete filler episodes or they have some bangers in them. So the collision in between the February 4th Dynamite and the February 11th Dynamite had really only one match for you. They had Tommaso Ciampa defend an open challenge in like a triple threat, and he won, only to lose to Kyle Fletcher on February 11th. so we can
which
talk about that.
I thought it was a pretty good match. I do love Kyle Fletcher. I feel like the style he brings to wrestling, especially him and Tommaso Ciampa, they go together really well. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like I don't like Ciampa losing the title this quickly.
Ooh,
I'm not saying he should have like a crazy long reign, but
I
um,
get you.
yeah. What do you think?
I I think it was like I think it made sense in my eyes because you want that Game 7 match between Mark Briscoe and Kyle Fletcher in that Grand Slam. I'm okay because he just joined the company. I'm okay with him having a very short reign because I believe it was only 11 days since he had it, and he took it off of Mark Briscoe. And to have it back on Kyle Fletcher's hands, at least it's in good hands. You know, it's in a good wrestler's hands. And it's not like they're going to leave Tommaso Ciampa in the dust. I mean, they're probably going to set himself up for something, maybe a rematch, perhaps with Kyle Fletcher down the line. But I'm okay with his introduction immediately getting a belt champion and then losing it pretty quickly. I don't know about you. I know you just talked about how like you wish he had it a little longer, but hey, man, we got that great match between Briscoe and Fletcher.
Yeah. I just don't know what's next for Champa at this point. I guess we'll see where they take it. He does
I
seem more
think
like a babyface character right now, so I don't know if he feuds against one of the factions that we have in AEW.
maybe he
I'm not
goes
sure.
after Kyle again after this little break here. I mean, he's
I did think for a second that they were gonna do like a big like rock paper scissors kind of 3-way feud between Champa, Briscoe, and Kyle Fletcher, and I thought Briscoe was gonna win the belt back for a little bit in that ladder
yeah,
match. Which I thought would have been pretty cool. But obviously that didn't happen.
yeah,
uh, we did see another title change in that episode of Dynamite between Chris Statlander and Tekla in a strap match. Uh,
yeah.
what do you think about the title changing hands there?
I'm okay with that too. I'm okay with that being changed as well. It's good to see that champions are rotating. I think that a big trend that's been going on has been long reigns. So it's just a little refreshing to see those short range happens and let wrestlers have their moments in between shows. So Statlander being changed up to the new champion, that's okay with me. What about you?
Uh, I don't know. Like I thought it was a good match. I'm not as big on. I guess I'm not as big on Tekla as other people are. I kind of see her more as like a mid card champion than I see her a world like
Really?
champion personally. Um,
Because I always saw her in like the world champion picture. That's why I kind of maybe that's why I'm kind of more okay with it than you were.
okay.
That's your take on that.
Well,
I,
it felt like it was just like lost in a 3v1. You know, I mean, I guess like
yeah,
that's nothing we haven't seen before from especially from AEW. We've seen that just recently with Hangman Adam Page losing the title to Samoa Joe in that steel cage match. Um,
right.
but I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent right now. I'd like to see where it goes.
I I think Tekla can definitely they can definitely take it to the next level. And hold that championship pretty strongly still. But if it's up to her, it's up to her to like keep that belt strong and have people care about it. But I think it can be done as a heel, and it'll give a little maybe a Statlander goes back for it, obviously. So it's kind of that face showing, like trying to get back the belt that was lost, and build more
Mm.
story on that. Because I think the weakest division right now is the women's division for AEW, and they're doing what they can to like build it better, in my eyes.
Um, do you think that's kind of like in proxy to them getting the AEW tag team titles going since that just like that division just started because they just got the tag team titles? Um, do you think that maybe like they took people from the other women's divisions and paired them together and took life from some of the other women's divisions?
Yeah, I would think it would probably be the proxy of it. That would probably be the reasoning. I what they're doing now is very good and for it. So I mean, I hope, like I said, it's up to Tekla to determine if this actually works out and like there's more women in the scene, but that could definitely be the reason.
Okay. Uh, was there anything else that happened that last Dynamite that I missed out on?
The last Dynamite, I mean Fletcher wins the TNT off of Tommaso. There's a three-way tag team contenders match between the Young Bucks, the
Oh yes.
Rascals, and they at the time it was a wild card. It was we don't know who it was going to be, and then it turned out to be
Private Party.
Yeah, Private Party. That's what their name was.
The return.
And the Young Bucks won it though, so they have the number one contender from the Dynamite to move on. And I believe the Don Callis family went against the Death Riders again, so they've been having like a series match in the like a triple threat series match because the February 4th Dynamite had the Don Callis family getting the win, and then the Death Riders, I believe, got the win on the 11th, which led us into Grand Slam.
Yeah, I guess we'll see where that ends up going, really. Because we'll move into Grand Slam now. So we had the show started off with Moxley versus Takeshita for the Intercontinental or whatever it's called. They've a lot of belts. There's a lot of wrestling belts, and especially some.
It's
of
the
them.
Continental champion. It's the
yes.
Continental. It's great match, by the way. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that was a great match.
They got some chemistry between those two.
Absolutely. That one ended up going to a 20-minute time limit draw. Following the match, they kind of are butting heads with each other, and Moxley shoves Takeshita's face, and then Takeshita hits him with his finisher. So, I think we do still have some legs to keep that rivalry going. And do you see
absolutely?
Do you see Takeshita ending up winning this championship in the future?
I think so. I think you eventually got to have Moxley losing this thing too. If it was going to be to anyone right now, it'd be him. Because I just don't think anyone's been built up for this championship like Takeshita. I love this feud. The Don Callis family versus the Death Riders. Yeah. It's just been so refreshing for the Death Riders in general. I loved it. And it's been a great time. Yeah, they have great chemistry between each other, and having that as the opener was such a great choice because it's like two of the top stars just pulls you in right away. And man, I mean, you look at these shows and you just wish like Collision was just more consistent because having a Saturday night event like that, like with that stacked lineup, is so nice. It's so refreshing for AEW.
Well, I think Grand Slam was technically a collision. I don't know, like I guess it technically wasn't a collision, but I think it technically was.
It's when they did like collision slot.
Yeah, when they did the ads, it said collision on it. You know.
Yeah, it's in collision slot, but it's technically like a TV PLE. They call it. I don't know what they call it. It's like a TV premiere episode, like a special. Yeah, exactly that. Not a pay-per-view, just like a TV special. Which is it's nice. It's nice when those come around. I believe next was the Babes of Wrath versus Megabad for the Women's World Tag Team Championship.
Yeah, I thought this match was solid. We saw Babes of Wrath end up retaining, and then following the match, I'm not too sure what her name was. I know it was an Australia like indie wrestler, but it seemed like she ended up aligning herself with the team of Megabad.
Is it Lena Cross?
It might have been. I like missed her name when they said it, but she attacked the Babes of Wrath following that, and so it seems like that rivalry is going to keep going as well.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of Babes of Wrath. I'm surprised they've held on to these tag titles as long as they have. Personally,
I kind of am too. I feel like they would have lost it by now, especially with how much TV time they've been getting for sure. But it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice that they're able to still retain it, but still allow Megabad to be like kind of ahead. Like they win, but they keep getting their ass beat after like the bell rings. So it kind of keeps that pressure on them. I like that. I like that they're doing that. And the debut of Cross is really nice. It's breath of fresh air. Like just like what I was saying before, the women's division, in my opinion, is like weaker in AEW. So having these people get debuted and like putting them in these big show situations is going to help the division only get better and more pop from the crowd. Because right now a lot of those matches end up being like collision merchants. They get sent to collision and it's like nobody watches them. It's unfortunate. It's not fair. So it's it's good that they're doing this. It really is good.
Speaking of the women's division, and this just got brought like to my head, we haven't seen Mercedes Moné in a while, unless she's like been
No,
on Collision.
I don't think she's been on collision. I would have said something. Um, the last collision, the only two star like people I would really consider like the best stars on the show on the last collision was well, I mean you could say Tommaso Champion with his TNT championship and the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks were on the show and they did like a tag team match. But they don't
Now they're the
I don't
number
think we'll
one
see
contender.
what?
They're the number one contender now. It's the
Yeah,
Collision effect.
the collision effect. They got themselves out there and then they're now number one contender. So the next match I believe was Adam Page versus Andrade.
This was
Man,
another good match. This was another good
it,
match.
totally agree. So in my take on this, I just think both winners are fine. I think I would have preferred Andrade.
I agree. I feel like Adam Page makes sense because they kind of built that with the Brody
Yeah.
King squashing. So like that, it was kind of right there that like it seemed like that was the direction that they were going. But Andrade had already beaten Swerve Strickland, I believe. He beat Kenny Omega
Yeah,
in this tournament, and then he went against Adam Page, and I thought he was going to win it. I'm not going to lie.
I did too.
We
I
saw an
wanted him to
exchange.
win it.
I did too. We did see an exchange towards the end where he went for his I guess patented low blow, and Adam Page saw it coming and reversed it and hit one for himself, which was pretty cool. And then that led
Yeah.
to the end of the
I
match.
love
Shortly
it. Did. I love the whole thing with Andrade where like just a random girl on the sideline and they just always get like a selfie thing. And then Adam Hangman Page got the selfie. That shit was hilarious. I just love the moxie of Andrade. I just love the cockiness of him. Like the whole like laying on the rope thing, the middle rope, like
yeah,
instead of like falling. It's just I love that character style of him. It really fits him. And that I think maybe that's why that pulled me in so quick. But I did wish he would have won, but like I said, I have no problems with Adam Hangman Page winning that.
yeah, for sure. And then next up in the night, we had a hair for or the person who lost the pinfall got their head shaved match. It was Orange Cassidy and Tony Storm versus Wheeler Yuta and Marina Shafir, and I thought this match was awesome. We saw a lot of intergender wrestling in this match as well.
Oh yeah, it's just pure fun, pure fun. You don't see a lot of this too much anymore, especially in like a company like WWE. I feel like you'd utilize that more. Like I know they have the iguana, but like these stupid stipulations. It's such a breath of fresh air in my eyes to have these like just funny moments. And of course, the result of that was the Death Riders lost, and man, he had to shave his hair. Man, he had to
Poor
shave his
Yuta.
hair. Poor Yuta.
I'll be honest. I think he looks better.
You think so?
Yes, his hair
He had
was
some
awful.
locks on him. Come on,
They were awful.
he had some locks.
I thought it was awesome how he tried to like escape the arena, and Mox is like, you got to do it, man. You got to do it."
I know. I love Mox stopping him and like forcing him to go back in the ring.
And then Marina Shafir's like holding his hand, like while he's getting his hair cut.
It's just a great match. Like it's just such a nice break, especially with how I mean the match that was going to come after, which we'll talk into a second, but it's just such a nice like break in between matches, in between the Hangman match and the next match. They're just a little fun, and
Yeah,
I think WWE should do this more too. I think they should have just moments like that on their shows, on their maybe not pay-per-views, but I think they could do pay-per-views, but just in general.
yeah, I agree. So yeah, like you said, next up we had more of a very crazy stipulation match. We had Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe, which them alone, you already know that they're going to bring the fireworks in
Oh
a
yeah.
ladder match for the TNT Championship.
Oh yeah. This match, this is Game 7. They've faced each other 6 times before this, and it was 3-3. So it meant everything, and it was in the hometown of Kyle Fletcher's play, like home. And man, Kyle Fletcher getting the dub over Mark Briscoe, my boy. Unfortunate.
Yeah, I thought this match was awesome.
Oh
It was
yeah,
very, very gruesome. I believe Mark Briscoe got busted open pretty early on in this match. Um,
yeah.
and, these guys are going to bring it. You already knew that.
Oh my god, yeah.
Um,
They've
I
got
felt
such
like the
good
spot of the
chemistry.
match. The spot of the match was when Kyle Fletcher hit the brain buster from the top of the ladder. That was insane.
Yeah, they always bring it 100% to the max, and this might be the last time for a bit we see this matchup happen again. Because I mean, it's the close. It felt like the finish of that series. So it's a shame that it's leaving, but man, if you were gonna go back and watch any match from that week, I would highly recommend that match right there. Just total energy, total fights, big moments. It has everything. Damn shame for Mark Briscoe because he's probably out of the picture right now for a little bit. But Kyle Fletcher retains his hometown.
Absolutely. And then to round off Grand Slam, we had MJF versus Brody King in a title match this time around. And we already kind of talked about it a little bit. MJF did indeed retain the title.
Yeah.
What'd you think about this match?
I think it was a pretty great match. This Grand Slam card has been just overall an enjoyable time. I mean, like I don't think there was any bad matches, and nonetheless, I mean, it's such a good match, like back and forth and very close. But it just makes you ask the question: why have Brody King just do a squash on MJF in that Dynamite? It just kind of makes you question a little bit more.
Maybe it was kind of just to build, like straight up to build the Adam Page feud between the two.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a stepping stone rather than his own moment now. Because after the match, when Brody King lost, Adam Page came out and just kind of had that big like stare down moment with MJF.
Yeah.
But the match itself was just a great fight. I mean,
Yeah, I thought this match was really good personally.
Yeah.
It was better than the squash match, for sure.
Well, I'd hope so. I'd hope it'd be better than a match that went on for less than a minute.
We did see Brody King hit the same sequence on MJF that he did when he squashed him. He did the rear naked choke over the ropes, and then he hit. I believe his finisher is called the Gonzo Bomb. He hit one of those, and MJF ended up kicking out that time around.
Yeah,
that was deep in the match too.
I'm a big fan of that over the rope chokeout spot.
I thought that was awesome the way MJF sold it. He was
oh yeah, it's just he does he really comes down to how you sell it, and MJF just does such a great job with that. So it made it look so menacing and just strong overall. Made Brody King look really good, and it just makes you ask, like, where do you go with Brody King from here after this loss?
I mean, you could say that for a lot of people in this card.
Yeah,
I guess we'll see where everything goes. I feel like the only real match that you kind of have a clear, like aside from the Hangman Adam Page, like stuff, the only match like where it's gonna go is the John Moxley and Takeshita stuff. So I guess we'll see because, like I said earlier, I have no idea where they're gonna what they're gonna do like with Mark Briscoe or Ciampa. I have no idea what they're gonna do with those guys.
No, yeah, the landscape's wide open and it's really exciting for AEW. In a very Revolution's card could be really anything right now. They have a lot of time to build to it, and we'll see. We'll see where they take it from here. It only makes this So for Dynamite next week, the big match there, I think fans should pay attention to is definitely the Kenny Omega versus Swerve Strickland match coming up. I think that's the big one that everyone's
Yeah,
talking about.
that'll be a very good match. I wonder if they'll, because sometimes AEW likes to do it where they have these big matches open the card, or maybe they'll have it close, but we'll see what they end up doing with that. I feel like that'll be a great match.
Yeah, I hope it is. And the Young Bucks have the championship contender. Do you think they do that at Revolution?
Yeah, that'll be a really good match too. The Young Bucks versus FTR.
Yeah. Who would you want? Would you want FTR dropping it at Revolution?
They've had it for a while.
Yeah.
I didn't really see the Young Bucks as someone who like they would get the tag titles back this soon, because they had it for a while, just like a year ago, right? I believe, or something like that.
I think so. I think they had it for a good bit in early 2025, and then during that summertime before they lost all their funding.
That was an awesome storyline. So I mean, I could see them winning it back, but it would still kind of surprise me that they went that direction this early on, in my opinion.
Yeah. I could, yeah. If they don't pull the trigger, that's okay with me. The Young Bucks are at that point where they're just so much of a star that they don't need the titles on them to like kind of prove themselves. They've kind of already done that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then this match against FTR is just going to be a good match.
Oh hell yeah, it's going to be a banger. Regardless, it's going to be an absolute banger.
All right. I think we should move on to WWE. Is there anywhere you want to start with this? WWE?
Well, man, I mean, we got to start from the beginning, the get-go. So we have 2 SmackDowns to go over. The first SmackDown was the one with Randy Orton winning the qualifier, right?
Yeah. Randy Orton defeated Aleister Black and Solo Sikoa to move on into the Elimination Chamber. And now with hindsight in play, we kind of have a couple of different things like that we know now. At the time, I thought they were kind of going to go into the direction of pulling off Randy Orton against Cody Rhodes for the WWE title. It doesn't seem like that's where they'll go currently right now, since Cody Rhodes also ended up qualifying. I guess we'll get to that in a little bit, but
we will.
Randy Orton was the right decision here for sure in terms of this qualifying match.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to remember. It's been a little bit ago. So that SmackDown was the one with Rhea Ripley facing Lash Legend and Nia and them, correct?
No, that was when they went. This one was when they went against Kiana James and Julia.
Right. And you wanted to talk about just that match overall. I remember we were talking about that.
I feel like Kiana James really showed out in this match, and she's really proving herself as of late. I feel like she's getting to the point where, because at first it kind of felt like she needed Julia and she needed to be partnered with her. I mean, I'm getting to the point where I'm sure they'll keep them together for the time being, but I feel like Kiana could kind of do her own thing at this point.
I agree. She's really been putting herself out there in the ring. They're not going to pull the trigger on her yet to remove herself from the tag team. But another person in that match, Julia, has been getting a lot more screen time, which has been a nice breath of fresh air because the women's division in SmackDown needs it. They need these people to rise up and be better competitors for Jade Cargill. Because Jade Cargill has nobody.
This is coming off the back end of it seeming like Julia, like WWE just gave up on Julia, having her get squashed by Chelsea Green for seemingly no reason. And then following that
didn't make
I guess
sense.
I don't know if it was maybe fan outrage or I don't know, but they end up putting the U.S. title back on Julia, and she's getting featured almost. It seems like every week she's at least getting on the screen, which I think is great,
right?
Because Julia is she's a special talent. Also, in that episode of SmackDown, we saw Kit Wilson present an open challenge, and none other than Obafemi was the one to answer it. And I love what they're doing with Obafemi. And obviously Kit Wilson's a
Oh my
great character
god, yeah.
right now, but Obafemi looks great right now.
Absolutely. Obafemi, they're doing fantastic work with Obafemi. They needed to do this too. They could not do that slow burn style of building up with Obafemi. The way they made him in NXT, they had to push him out there to be that kind of big beast, which is it's exactly what they're doing, and it's very important, and I'm glad they are. Shout out to Kit Wilson, though, for just being so fantastic. I mean, he has a great theme. He's getting pulled in and being loved by the crowd, and his whole thing with "You are toxic." It's just fantastic. I love his bits and everything. I'm really glad that they're pushing someone like Kit Wilson right now. At least giving him more of a role on SmackDown.
Yeah. And then they're keeping this micro feud kind of going with Kit Wilson and Obafemi, because this last episode of SmackDown, we saw him reading a couple poems backstage. Um,
Yeah,
and one of them was to Obafemi, and Obafemi wanted a match against Kit Wilson. So I'm assuming they'll go the same route and have Kit Wilson get squashed by Obafemi again.
I mean, there's no chance. There's no chance it's even happening. It's not possible.
Uh,
Um,
we also saw Carmelo
anything
Hayes
else?
go against The Miz in
Great.
that episode. That was a pretty good match, and
Yeah.
in hindsight, it kind of feels like that rivalry is kind of still going to be going on. But at the time, we weren't really sure if that was going to keep going. Do you think like maybe there's one more match, or do you think it will kind of end like this rivalry end up ending off screen?
Well, I would think Triple H would probably keep this in his back pocket as like a long term feud. It doesn't ever have to be like always in the spotlight, but just to have that hatred between each other throughout like their careers. I think he'll probably just keep that in his backhand. So yeah, we'll absolutely see that further going forward in random moments. Now, I don't think it will be on the level where like the Miz is screwing Carmelo over like every match. Like I don't think this will have like a full direct finish, but it doesn't mean that like they like when they go against each other they're gonna butt heads. I kind of like where they're at right now, and I hope they don't like go back to this like red hot feud. It doesn't really need to be that.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel like they'll end up getting back to that point either. And it kind of
Yeah,
felt weird at first because they kind of kept this like rivalry in limbo for a while when they first kind of,
yeah. They put it on the back burner for sure.
which I thought was kind of interesting, especially since they started. It didn't seem like they wanted to push Carmelo Hayes, and then they randomly gave him the U.S. title, which was a great title change, in my opinion.
Absolutely, and a very good title card right now.
I think that's pretty much most of what happened on that SmackDown. We also saw Tiffany Stratton qualify for the Chamber,
Yep,
which was
Tiffany
also
Stratton
great.
qualified, which made sense. The shame Chelsea Green didn't make it there because she was in that qualifying round. Unfortunate for her because I kind of wanted to see her in the Elimination Chamber, but hopefully she gets some kind of push later on. Eventually, gets some title because I like her as a character. I think she's really good.
Oh, well, also in hindsight, she ended up hurting her foot in that match, so it was kind of good that she wasn't the planned winner for that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but injuries are going to come around. I just meant in general. Be cool to see her. Hopefully, she gets better after that. And there was also the what's her Liv Morgan came over to SmackDown to kind of talk her stuff, and Jade Cargill came out, basically came out and said, "I'm going to beat your ass if you pick me." And Liv Morgan's not scared at all, obviously. And Jordan Grace confirmed a match with Jade Cargill after their little tag team match they had against each other that week for the next SmackDown that we're going to talk about. And we've kind of been talking about it a little bit.
Do we just want to start talking about transition to the next SmackDown now? We'll do Raw after.
We could do Raw after. We could just go right into the next SmackDown.
I thought this
Jade Cargill
Jade
faced
Cargill-
Jordan Grace.
I thought that was a great match, personally.
Yeah, it was a it's just nice to see her defending her damn belt. It's
Yeah,
Christ.
and that leads me to the question: why don't you have her defend the title more? Because even if the matches are
Fucking
bad, she's still
yeah.
defending the title, or even like give her matches. I would rather them be title defenses. Um, you have more women than just B-Fab and Mish in the world title picture, and those are people that you
I
know
know.
aren't going to win the title. So I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what we're thinking there, but
I don't know either. I don't know why they're doing that. It's just frustrating. Because especially after this match is a very solid match. It's good, entertaining, and it's just like, man, like you're choosing to just not put this title in the picture in the show at all. God, no build up, no build. They better start a build up for Jade Cargill, especially after this Elimination Chamber for
yeah,
WrestleMania.
whoever wins, I hope that they kind of have a strong rivalry going on. Do you,
That's what I'm
from the
saying.
people who have qualified so far, do you see like any of them, or like anyone that might have like a contender match? Do you feel
So
like
it's what
any of those people?
It's Tiffany Stratton, it's Rhea Ripley,
Alexa
it's
Bliss, and
Alexa
then
Bliss
there, the Raw
on the
match
Monday.
was Bailey, Asuka, and Natty were all announced for that match, and
Yeah.
then this next SmackDown it was Charlotte, Nia Jax, and Kiana James, I believe.
Man, I have no clue who's going to take off Jade Cargill when we say those names. Like, because the problem is we barely even seen her on screen with the belt.
Yeah,
Like, that's what's troubling about that. All I could say right now is if they could take this route in the story, I'm like thinking in my head right now, they have Rhea Ripley win the contention match.
the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, the Elimination Chamber, the Elimination Chamber. She gets the spotlight there, and that starts the Fickley process of eventually breaking up the tag team that is Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, because she wins it at WrestleMania, and then she focuses on that belt more than Io Sky and her the tag team belt.
I do
That
think
would
that
be
is the biggest
me.
match possible for the title, for sure. I do think because they're kind of building that feud backstage between those two, and they're also building Io Sky versus Julia backstage, which I think would be very intriguing for a U.S. title match at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
So I could see it going that way.
it's very interesting where they're going to take it. I don't know. Do you even see Jade Cargill losing the belt at WrestleMania? Like, be honest with me.
I
Like,
don't
you hear
know.
those
Like,
names.
I'll be honest. So I feel like like some of the names, like if Charlotte Flair won the Elimination Chamber, I could see her winning it. I don't really see Rhea Ripley, like as crazy as it seems. I feel like that they just put on a good match for Jade and build up Jade more. The only problem I have with it is that if they do Jade versus like any of those girls who end up winning the Chamber, they have to make it. They have to do something that Jade's like. They have to get her out of her comfort zone and have a match longer than 10 minutes. Because that's all it seems. That's all it seems
Modern
like
day
they're comfortable doing.
Goldberg. She's the modern day Goldberg.
Because I know she's a dominant woman, and they're kind of like building her up to be that. So is Rhea Ripley, and so is like Charlotte Flair.
No, she needs to go to the distance. She's gonna need to go to the distance for that WrestleMania match. She's gonna have to push her limits, which I think she can do. I think she can take that on and take that role. It's just, I mean, man, what do you think? Do you think she actually can though?
Have a match longer than 10 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I
We
think
haven't really
she can.
seen it too much. I think she can too.
I guess we'll see what they
But-
end up doing with her.
It would be pretty stinky if it was just another 10-minute match, especially if you put in a big picture women's wrestler right now like Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax, or Charlotte Flair. Like, it's got to go longer than 10 minutes. You can't have it just be a 10 minutes slop fest.
AI slop.
Just pure slop. Pure Jade Cargill slop.
Chat GPT, book me a wrestling match for Jade Cargill.
They wouldn't know what to say. She's like barely on screen. They wouldn't even know who to pick. They'd probably pick BFAB.
So, all right. We also saw Rhea Ripley and Io Sky take on Lashley Legend and Nia Jax.
Woo!
And you kind of talked about that match the last episode. You said that was the direction you wanted them to go, and they ended up going there. So,
hell yeah. Happened a lot sooner than I thought, and I loved it. I love the matchup. Just two big bodies, Rhea Ripley, like did Lash Legend and Nia Jax going against Rhea Ripley, who's also kind of a big body, that strong style, and then having that mix with Io Sky being like top, like always jumping off from the top rope, being that high flyer. Just love it. I love it. It gives Io such a bigger like spot moments too, because she is the one that is doing most of like the jumping off like the ropes and like doing the high flying at big moments. So it's just really cool to like see that live on TV. It's just great times. So they gotta go against each other again. It's gotta happen. Gotta see that again.
Did that end in like a DQ? I forget. I feel like it did, but I could be wrong.
Let me look. What'd that happen on that SmackDown or?
Yeah, it's happened the last.
Oh yeah, it ended in no contest. Yeah, ended no contest for Need a reminder here. It's been a little bit. What was the reason? What was the reasoning?
Was it? I think it was just a double count out. Or no, I think like Nia or one of them was like beating someone else's ass, and like the ref just like called the match or something, like on the outside. Maybe it was a double count out.
I think it was a double count out. I don't know.
So
it was no contest. Like it was no winner for that match. Which
it feels like that'll kind of keep on that rivalry keep going a little bit. So we'll see where that ends up going.
Heck yeah! Do another match.
We already said it. We saw Alexa Bliss qualify for the Elimination Chamber against Julia and Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega got some new theme music, and it's just Aleister Black's music.
Yep. That sucks. Awesome. Way to separate your wrestlers, man. God. Isn't it crazy that Karrion Kross? Yeah, it was a good match. Overall, isn't it crazy that Karrion Kross and what was her name, Scarlett or something, like left the company, and then Aleister Black and Zelina Vega just like basically became Karrion Kross and Scarlett. They're like the same vibe, pretty much. Like it's like pretty much the same style of like what they do. It's just wild. But
except Aleister Black's a way better wrestler, in my opinion. And they're having Zelina Vega do matches, and Scarlett never did matches.
That is true. It's like an improved version, but not by much. I mean, they're not on the show too much. They're kind of just having them beef with Damian Priest for a while. But yeah, we just talked about the Jade Cargill defense with Jordan Grace is great.
We saw a big 10-man tag match where it seemed like Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov were going to have another match against each other. And they got jumped. The MFTs came out. Yeah. They came out and started jumping.
They got jumped and canceled the freaking match. What a bunch of assholes.
And it led to a big match between MFTs and the backstage mid-carders.
Yeah.
Where Shinsuke, Matt Cardona, and Apollo Crews all came out to...
Oh, Apollo Crews! We love Apollo Crews.
He's back. And then out of all of those names, the one who gets pinned is Carmelo Hayes. What are your thoughts on that?
What the fuck are they doing? You do not need to have Carmelo Hayes get pinned. I don't understand that at all. I don't know why they did that. The match itself was just crazy, and then all the mid carders just like ran out. We're like, we're having a match, and I mean, I'll always take Shinsuke content anytime I can. So I'm glad I got some Shinsuke content. And Apollo Crews coming out was just like fucking wild. I was like, what? You're still back there? So I guess he's out of catering. He had to get him out. He had to stretch his legs and put his boots on.
He's done with the main event matches for now.
Yeah, he's done for the main event matches. And RIP Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin matchup. but he's gonna be cooking, I guess. Hopefully, he's on the next show. Probably not. He'll probably return back to catering because they probably just like needed him to be that placeholder.
They've been loving him in those backstage segments where he just like stands there and like shakes his head.
Yeah, yeah. It's just been his thing. Is that his gimmick now? Just to be a disapproving father?
Do you think he'll end up having a match against Carmelo Hayes in an open challenge match?
If I can't think of anybody else, yeah, absolutely.
I just feel like that matchup would be so funny. And like Apollo Crews, like he's not bad in ring, but he just isn't like
No, he
a
has
major
no
character. Yeah.
He doesn't have like I guess he just doesn't have like the build up to be like a character because they haven't pulled the trigger on him at all.
Yes.
But Carmelo Hayes taking the pin, I don't know about you, but that's fucking insane. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, I don't understand it because I know that you're kind of building up Tama Tonga to be like a U.S. title contender, and you've been doing this since Ilya Dragunov has had the title, and he hasn't had a
Yeah.
match for the U.S. title yet. But the thing that really confuses me is that Carmelo Hayes is doing the open challenges. So why do you need it to be the number one contender if if he's doing these open challenges? Just walk out gorilla, and you got the match.
No,
That's all you need to do.
scared. They're too scared being in their room. They're in their like little MFT room, their bloodline room, so they can't get there in time. Apollo Crews will get there before him because he's in catering. Another thing I just noticed, kind of where they're taking this, they're pushing Tama Tonga pretty hard. Doesn't it? To me, I don't know about you, but I feel like it hurts Solo Sikoa, like where he's at right now. Like he's in a really weird spot where it's almost like his lackeys, like his part of his bloodline, like members, are kind of getting more in the spotlight than he is, and he's supposed to be considered the leader of the group. So it's just very
I see where you're
an awkward
coming from.
position.
I don't know. I see it a different way, where it doesn't really hurt
How
him
do you
as
see
much.
it?
Well, he
Okay.
does have. I think he technically does have the tag title because he won that in the match, in the tag title match, the tag
Yeah.
title. So, and he just had the qualifier match to be in the Elimination Chamber that he lost. But to be fair, but I still feel like
Well,
he still seems like the leader to me, and I feel like him not getting the pin here, especially with them pushing Tama Tonga how they are, it doesn't really make me see him like differently. Also, he's like the only one that touches the microphone in that group.
he is the only one that touches the microphone in that group. Just I don't know. I get a little awkward feeling where like everybody else seems like they're getting more shots at these titles and stuff, and it's just weird. I know he was in the qualifier for Elimination Chamber, and he was earlier in the year. He was in the King of the Ring qualifier. He was in a couple of the. He was in the John Cena retirement
Yeah,
tournament.
had a great
He
match.
has been absolutely. He's in a great. he's been in he's been in a lot of things, but he just never has like been close to getting the job done, to being like considered a threat. I don't know. It just feels really weird to me, especially where if you think about originally where he was at and how people thought like they wanted to perceive him. Just I don't know. It's I think Triple H is struggling right now to figure out where to put Solo. We'll see. We'll see though.
Yeah. Okay, I understand what you're saying. All right, the last match for SmackDown that we had that we really need to talk about, I feel like, is Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu versus Sami Zayn for the Elimination Chamber qualifying match. And I'm gonna pull the curtain back a little bit. Already said that we had technical difficulties with the last episode, but when we talked about this episode, then we both kind of agreed that Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu were gonna have some like animosity against each other, and like they're gonna beat the hell out of each other. And Sami Zayn was gonna stealing the pin or stealing the win for however he ended up doing that. And I also said that I could see Cody Rhodes winning because he is Cody Rhodes, and that's pretty much what ended up happening.
Yeah, the finish was quite questionable, to say the least. I don't know. I mean, Sammy taking one crossroads to kind of finish it out there. It just kind of felt like a very quick finish. And it might lead to, so I've seen talks about this. It might lead to Sammy not really liking Cody.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I've seen talks about that because the way
Well,
like you can
Drew
say what you're gonna say.
McIntyre interfered in this match and attacked Cody Rhodes. So,
Yeah,
and he kind of tried to cover up Sammy because Drew doesn't want Cody Rhodes to qualify. So he tried putting
yeah,
Sammy on top of Cody, and Cody ends up kicking out of that. Sammy then, once he ends up being able to get back up, attacks Drew McIntyre, who's trying to help him win. And then,
right.
so he takes out Drew McIntyre, and then Cody Rhodes takes advantage of that onto Sammy. So at that point, like
Right.
it just made Sammy like seem like an idiot, in my opinion. Like you have your chance to
Yeah.
qualify for this match for the title, which is what you ultimately want, and you take out someone that you really have no problem with at this point.
Well, if you do have problems with them too, wouldn't you want to qualify for the chance to get the revenge title? Like, get a
Yeah,
chance to get it back at it again? Like, that's that too. He just was a bonehead play there, and Cody took advantage of it, which is a weird. So, do you think that's possibly? Do you think that's more of just Cody being smart and just like I need that contention match, so I'm just going to go for it, or do you think that's Cody more playing a more like sneaky like heel role, like where he's
ooh.
kind of like a little bit of a play there?
I don't know. I think I saw it like the first way that you said, like where he's just trying to get the contender match. But that is an interesting way to look at it, and I could see it leading that way. If they do want to end up pulling the trigger on Cody being more of a like edgy character.
Yeah,
Um,
they wanted. A lot of people call him Homelander, like a Homelander style character,
yeah. So I
like
think
a
that would
heel
that
but
would
a
be
leader of
interesting
the company.
going that way. Um,
I think I'd like that. I think he should be. I think he'd be a pretty good heel, especially if he stayed in that business role. Like if he had the suit on, but like was talking in a very cocky way, like not like showboaty, but just like total business and like evil corporate style. I think that would really fit him well.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, so we kind of talked about this for the woman. Out of the men's like elimination chamber matches so far, who do you see going against Drew McIntyre at this point?
Oh, I'm gonna have to say Cody.
Yeah.
I, I don't want it to be Cody, but I'm gonna have to say it's probably gonna be Cody, unless we get something similar to where Jacob Fatu fucks with Cody in the middle of his elimination chamber match and fucks him
Ooh,
over bad. That could
we have
happen
seen that a
too.
couple times. We have seen that
Yeah,
a couple times.
that has happened before, and I'm not going to put it out of question. But if there's no interference from Fatu at all, and they squash that beforehand, I've got Cody winning it. Unfortunately, I don't even want Cody to win it. I don't
Yeah,
think
because
he really needs the belt right
we've
now.
seen him versus Drew like 27 times as of late.
Yeah, is this feud's getting a little tiring, and it's not. Maybe not. I guess it is a little tiring because it's. I don't know. Like I'm cool with feuds being that long, but I don't know what's really making that feud so tiring. Is it just because they keep screwing each other? Like they haven't really like had a complete match yet? Is that what you think the reasoning is?
I think the reasoning is because they had this three stages of hell match, which seems like it'll be the end of the
Yeah,
rivalry, and then they just keep it going.
I could see it. The three
Um,
stage of Hell's match definitely should have been the stop, like the moment, the point where that feud should have at least had a closer. Like that should have been over right then and there. Maybe pick it up at Elimination Chamber, not throughout this whole time. Like Drew
yeah,
McIntyre screwing Cody over at Royal Rumble is just like that's I don't know. It's the way this is
yeah.
going.
I'm gonna put
Who-
this out in the universe and
Okay.
kind of see where it goes. So I'm gonna go like a similar direction that you did, but I'm gonna kind of change it a little bit. So I'm gonna say that Cody Rhodes ends up eliminating Randy Orton at some point. Maybe they're in the final three of the Elimination Chamber. And then Randy Orton
Yeah.
gets pissed, and this is where the um, heel turn that people have wanted for so long for Randy Orton ends up happening. And he does something similar that Seth Rollins did to CM Punk last year in the Chamber, and attacks Cody Rhodes and leaves him for the taking for LA Knight. I feel like LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre as a feud that could be very intriguing.
Oh, I like that. That would be one of the people I'd want to win. Not who I think would win, but yeah, I would love to see him in another title shot here. He's only getting older, and he's already in his 40s. Give him the damn title run for a heavyweight. Why not? Or Universal. I mean,
Let's give him a world title.
either one.
Point. He deserves it.
Yeah, just get him one world title shot and see if it just sticks. I mean, you give Jey Uso the chance, and I mean, I kind of like Jey Uso a little bit, but like I know a lot of people didn't like Jey Uso's world heavyweight title reign. But like, if you give him the title, like an opportunity to just see what kind of pulls people in for like that title view, why not LA Knight? Why not give him a chance? Just see how people would feel about him being a champion. Pull the trigger. Come on, Triple H.
Pull the trigger.
Run out of time, Triple H. He's only getting older, man. He's in his 40s. He's gonna be looking like Goldberg soon.
Yeah, he's gonna. LA Knight's gonna do like something that Triple H didn't want him to do in the Chamber match, and he's gonna start like yelling at him backstage.
Oh my god, unreal! Jesus Christ! That whole thing with that video episode. I don't know if people know. For the fans watching that do not watch Unreal and don't want to see the behind the scenes of wrestling, you can skip past this part. But in Unreal, like. There's a scene with the Money in the Bank earlier in 2025 where like LA Knight didn't do this stupid fucking stare down with Seth Rollins on the other side of the ladder, instead pulled him off of the ladder from his feet, and then they like made it such a damn big deal. I mean, they were losing their fucking mind over it. They were like, the match is ruined. Oh man!
And I'm not gonna lie,
like Seth Rollins
kind of made it better in my opinion because LA Knight is that's 2 years ago. It's on the exact.
I don't think it's a hot take. Yes. They've done the stupid stare down spot before. They don't got to do it again.
Especially with LA Knight.
It's not going to build hype at that point. The match has already been like close to 25 minutes in, like almost to the end of the match by that point. Like we don't need this big stare down moment where they're like staring at the freaking Money in the Bank up top, and then they do the stupid punching on the on the top of the ladder. If anything, the whole like finisher reversal thing into the stomp was way cooler to get the win on the floor. You don't need it to be at the top of the damn ladder. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's it for SmackDown. So move on to Raw.
Yeah, Raw.
Raw ended up opening with Becky Lynch. She was cutting a promo, and AJ Lee ended up coming out. And I thought this promo was pretty good. What we ended up getting out of it was, it seems, allegedly, there's going to be a match at Elimination Chamber for the Intercontinental title match. Even though Becky Lynch was saying no, everyone else was saying yes. So
Becky was begging no. She said no, and AJ Lee was like, not even a maybe? And she was like, no. So it was great. It was just a great match. I love what they do with heel Becky right now. I don't know if that's a consensus take around the community, the wrestling community, but I've been a big fan of heel Becky for a bit.
And I didn't really catch on to this, but apparently she's doing like a play on Donald Trump. Is like what her character's based off of. And like if you pay attention to that, you could see.
Oh, because I mean, I could see with the Sports Illustrated stuff. I'm not the only one saying I'm the best. Sports Illustrated call me the best as well. I kind of like it. I dig it. I dig the character. It's just enjoyable.
Do you see a rematch happening at WrestleMania for this match? Because like that kind of seemed like the direction they were going to go with end up going with this. It's going to have being a WrestleMania match. Do you see them taking it that far?
I could see it depending on who the winner of the match was.
Okay.
So I feel like if Becky wins the belt, like retains, I feel like then you can take it to WrestleMania, and AJ Lee gets the bigger win at Las Vegas. So she gets the bigger pop. She needs her losing moment in Elimination Chamber at her hometown to build up to the grand win at WrestleMania. If AJ Lee wins at Elimination Chamber in Chicago, that's her big moment. I think Becky Lynch moves on to different title pictures. I just don't see that rematch happening at WrestleMania.
Okay,
What do you
yeah.
think?
I think it's very it's interesting to look at it. I think if Becky Lynch retains at Chicago, I think that does put a lot of good heat on her from the crowd, which I think will be really
Exactly.
interesting. Um, I was surprised that they announced this match for Elimination Chamber and they didn't hold off on it. I thought that's what they were going to do. So it's weird to look
Yeah.
at it. I honestly see them doing the rematch anyway. I think they're going to end up doing the rematch no matter what.
Really?
Yeah, I don't see anything like that either of these girls could do at WrestleMania following. It just feels like that's going to be the match at WrestleMania.
I could see them doing other stuff. I don't know what yet because we're building to Elimination Chamber. But if I had to guess, let's just say hypothetically that AJ Lee wins at Elimination Chamber, and we go with my theory that Becky Lynch wouldn't face AJ Lee at WrestleMania because I feel that wouldn't make sense to me. I feel like Becky Lynch would probably put herself into a different title picture. Maybe she could go over to the women's side on SmackDown and try to go for that women's United States title. Maybe elevate that one. I could see that being a possibility.
That would make her a Grand Slam, the first woman's Grand Slam champ with the mid card titles too.
Yeah, I think if you wanted to, you could put her in a stupid tag team match. You could do a couple of things with her. If I were Triple H, you have AJ Lee winning an Elimination Chamber. I would put Becky Lynch in the Women's United States Championship contention to try to raise the mid card up on that side, especially with all the NXT wrestlers coming in that are probably most of the women's are going to go to SmackDown because the Raw roster is just so strong right now. It doesn't really need the help from that. So if I were Triple H, I would put Becky right in SmackDown to trying to fight for the Women's United States Championship and then raising that division up, and especially from the mid card.
Yeah, I like that. That's an interesting take on it, though. I haven't thought about that. So I think that'd be cool if they went that way, but I don't really see it right now as of this point.
Yeah, I obviously Triple H could just do that match again. It'd be safe. I mean, it'd be a safe option if they just did the rematch at WrestleMania.
Yeah. And then this episode was the same one that had the Usos versus Alpha Academy, right?
Woo! Yes, it is. That match was a stinker. That match was a stinky.
The match was a stinker, but not because of Otis and Tozawa.
Of course, the goats. They would never. They always put on a great show.
And I really like what they've been doing with Tozawa lately. They're kind of showing that he's a certified hooper in the ring, and they've been showing
total
what he can do. But yeah, match was not great, and it's weird because the Usos used to be they were the top tag team. Even just in ring, they were one of the top teams. And then they both ended up becoming single stars for a little bit, and it seems like they forgot how to tag team wrestle, or at least Jay.
Yeah, I mean, when you're not able to even do your super kicks correctly, and that's your bread and butter, you gotta maybe need to take a step back and really get down the fundamentals again. And I'm not saying the Usos are bad wrestlers and by any means. I just think recently Jey Uso's had a slump, and I think you can tell from that. I don't know if you've been noticing, but on social media, Jey Uso has been really replying to a lot of the hate from the fans. Like he's seeing the
I haven't
stuff
really
that's
seen
being said about him on like Twitter, and maybe that's getting to him. Maybe it's just like a mental thing, like just hearing all the hate that he constantly gets. And I think that's probably putting him in a worse position in how he's like showing himself on the show. Because it's a lot on his Instagram stories. He's replying to a lot of like posts about him. Like he just replied to a post about him about being ranked as the most overrated wrestler of the
it.
year. So he's definitely just seeing the hate, and I think it's just letting him get to him. You just can't do that.
First off, how is he overrated? Because everyone kind of knows he's like not very good.
I don't know. I don't think you can hate him so much and call him overrated. I don't think you can. I don't think you can actively hate him and then call him overrated. Because what are you saying? Like after that, like what? He's just like double trash. Like, oh man, he's so trash. But people are overrating him to a trash level. He's actually dumpster fire.
That could be the case. That could be the case.
Like I don't know, like what, like where he would even say that for, but he is seeing those posts about him, and I genuinely think that's actually affecting him in the ring, and it's a shame because, well, he's a grown ass man and needs to get himself together, man. He's been in the company for years. If that's actually the case, it might not be. It could just be he's just like losing his step for a little bit, and he's just having a slump time. But yeah, he didn't look great at all in that match, and unfortunately, the Usos retain. For us Alpha Academy fans out there, I'm sorry, guys. Don't worry, we'll have our spotlight. It seems like we're gonna have our spotlight. 2026 is Alpha Academy's year.
Guys, we need to start being nicer to Jey Uso.
Yeah, can we start being nicer to Jey Uso? A little yeets. Add some more yeets. If I see any more hate on Jey Uso's Twitter, I'll send him all of it. I'll let him know.
If you guys leave any hate comments, we're gonna yeet on you.
I just know damn well half those hate comments are yeeting right in the crowd when they go to the shows.
Our hate comments?
No, not ours. Like the hate comments around Twitter.
Uh-oh.
I just know like they're making those hate comments and then they like get off their phone and continue to yeet at Monday Night Raw or SmackDown whenever Uso's on screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, the match is a stinker. Tozawa was pretty good though. I'm glad to see him getting pushed more. And I mean, Otis is Otis. He's a magnificent, sexy beast that needs to be cherished by everybody.
Absolutely. We also saw CM Punk versus Finn Balor get announced for Elimination Chamber. This match seems extremely filler, even more so filler than their last matchup because it kind of seemed like Finn Balor could have won the title there. This matchup, the rematch, seems a lot more filler because we have the prospect of Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble and already declaring his matchup to be against CM Punk or for the heavyweight title.
Fellas, I'm not going to take credit for this one, but I did see a post talking about how there might actually be a chance for a WrestleMania triple threat with Finn Balor being involved. I saw a possibility about it.
They shouldn't do that. I feel like that's just fans kind of wanting that, and I don't think they should go that direction.
I don't think so either.
It's not even the normal fan. It's Finn Balor fans.
I want him to have like this shouldn't be like this. We know what the result's going to be. CM Punk's going to beat Finn Balor again, but I want Triple H to take this in a story sense for Finn Balor's character. This should be Finn Balor's moment where one of the defining moments where he realizes my mindset and the way I'm like wrestling is not how I'm going to win a championship. Like being like where he is at right now, like just being super angry, like all the time, like being a heel, like the way he is right now, he is never going to win a championship for himself. So like if they're going to do this match in Elimination Chamber, they need to like hammer it home where he realizes after he loses, like man, I need to like find myself or something. Like I need to like fix something in myself to like get myself back on the horse because I truly think Finn Balor can get a title shot and win a world title by the end of this year. It's just not going to happen at WrestleMania. It's not going to happen at Elimination Chamber. He needs time to build. He needs to break away from the Judgment Day. That should be the arc right now. He needs to break away from the Judgment Day and kind of find himself. That's what they got to use it for. I saw a post saying that it's like the Bryan Danielson thing, where it's like, I don't know if you remember, but like, there was a whole thing where Bryan Danielson, he like fit himself into the match, and that shouldn't be Finn Balor's story. That really shouldn't. It doesn't work with him.
I definitely agree.
He's not as backed as like people think he is. Like like everyone was chanting the yes chants like every weekly show. That's why they put him on that card. Like I don't think we're not getting Finn Balor chants like every week. For this, like I just don't think he has. You really got to have like a humongous pull to like pull that off. I just don't think he's there, and I don't think he needs to have that kind of story that Bryan did. He needs to have his own story where he breaks away from the Judgment Day first before he wins a title. I don't think he should win a title in the Judgment Day whatsoever.
I agree with some of what you said, but I don't agree with everything. So okay. I do think that like I really like the point that you made with his mindset like not being there, and I think that should be the direction they end up going. I don't see him unfortunately winning a world title this year, maybe next year. I definitely see him winning the Intercontinental Championship after he breaks off of the Judgment Day, and maybe that'll be the WrestleMania match to Dirty Dom versus Finn Balor for the IC title.
All right, I can get behind that. At least you're with me on the idea that he needs to change his mindset. He shouldn't be winning the title in the Judgment Day. If you want him to get into a title spot.
Yeah, and then so I guess we could talk about next. We could talk about so LA Knight qualified for the Elimination Chamber match. We already talked about that a little bit. And then Rhea Ripley also qualified for the match, pinning Lyra Valkyria, which I thought was an awful decision.
Yes.
And the only reason you hate her is because I like her, and that's literally the only reason why you don't like her.
That's not the truth. That's not the truth.
That is the truth.
They wanted behind the curtains. We talked about this. We had a long debate about this. I'm willing to open this can of worms again. I don't think
I'm willing to open this can of worms too. I was thinking about them. I was thinking about those worms.
I don't think Ivy Nile should be the one that got pinned there. I think Lyra can take the pin.
And your reasoning was awful. Your reasoning was awful.
It doesn't hurt her. It doesn't hurt Lyra.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't. She's already in a picture where she doesn't need well, I'm not gonna say she doesn't need the Elimination Chamber. Hold on, now. Let me rephrase that. She's not in a situation where if she gets pinned, she gets put back in the bin. She would still be in the picture in other ways. Ivy Nile, at the very least, if she got pinned, if she was just another pin merchant, when are you going to get a chance again to at least have an opportunity to somewhat put her in a role where she's more on the show than what she's doing now?
So what's next for Ivy Nile then? What's next for her?
My point is, I don't know what's next, and my point is, it's totally to see a tester because Ivy Nile did control some of that match most of the time for the qualifier. If you didn't watch, Ivy Nile was one of
to take the pin. I'll be honest. Her being as strong.
I don't think she needs to take the pin. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Lyra is, in my opinion, and I don't think this is a hot take, is top 2 in-ring work women's wrestler in the company. And
top 2? Top 2?
That's not crazy. That is not crazy.
Top 2?
That is not crazy.
Well, Io Sky's got to be 1.
Yeah, it's Io and Lyra.
Okay. All right. So Lyra's 2. Lyra's 2?
Top 2. And right. I don't think she needs to be pinned. And the treatment that she's been getting, she lost the Intercontinental Championship, and I was just thinking about this. Can she challenge Becky for the title since Becky lost it?
Did she have a rematch?
So the stipulation on the last match was that if Becky won or if Becky retained, Lyra couldn't challenge her again.
I do remember that, yeah.
While she was the champion, but she lost the title, so I don't know if she could challenge her again for it. They haven't really talked about that at all.
Was it never face be able to use the Intercontinental though? Was the wording never be able to challenge for the Intercontinental again, or never
I think
challenge
it was
for as the champion?
while Becky was
Let me look that
champion.
up.
So I don't know if that counts now since she lost the title and then won it back.
I'm gonna look it up real quick for the fans.
But anyway,
Continue saying what you're saying.
I feel like Lyra, like they could have big things for her going. She is still young, so I guess there's like a lot of space for her to, do something. But I don't really like the direction that they're taking her right now, personally, because it kind of seems like we don't really know what's next for her. She has that tag team with Bailey, but that doesn't really seem to be going too much of anywhere really right now. Did you get your research done?
I'm reading. Hold on.
I think what would really confuse me now, because while thinking about that, we do have Bailey in a qualifier match next week, or this upcoming Monday.
Yeah.
So I feel like if Bailey qualifies and Lyra didn't, it does feel kind of weird, in my opinion.
Okay, so Lynch wanted to establish that if Lyra loses, she'll never be able to challenge for the title Becky currently holds.
So she probably could go back for it, right?
Okay, it depends on the wording. Like currently holds. Does that mean like the Intercontinental as a whole, or the championship run that she's holding right now?
I wouldn't mind if they reopen that, restarted that storyline, and then that's kind of I could see Becky having. Can we get
a lawyer storyline where Lyra gets a lawyer and talks about the stipulation?
Where Becky gets a lawyer. That would be awesome.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fucking hilarious. That, you know what? That's where they could take her if they wanted to get back on the Intercontinental run again. But back to what we were talking about. Ivy Nile was so strong in that match, it would take away all of the momentum she had in that match if she got pinned, if she was the one that got pinned. Lyra right now has the tag team thing, and while it isn't really going anywhere, I agree with you on that. At least she has that at the moment. Ivy Nile has just kind of been floating ever since she had that one time at the Intercontinental. She's been kind of floating in space. So maybe, like I said, I don't know where they're going to take her with it. They could do nothing with Ivy Nile for all I know. But at the very least, they gave her that to see if people would stick on to her, to see what the fans would think about that. And I think that's important. Lyra doesn't really need that. Lyra is already, like you said, you could argue her to be a top 5 in-ring wrestler, and people know that. So she doesn't necessarily need the. I'm not gonna say top 5, but you could say 2 all you want. Yeah. She people already know her for her in-ring skills, and she's been really good with that. So she doesn't it's okay for her taking the pin in my eyes.
Well, here's where the problem comes in with that. The online, what people have been saying on social media, they haven't been praising Ivy Nile for what she did in the match. They've been more saying, why did Lyra take the pin? Which is where I'm at, too.
Yeah, I mean, that obviously, listen, we're getting that from Twitter.
Where else am I supposed to get it from, bro?
Right. So, I don't know. I'm gonna have to.
I agree. That's how I feel too.
I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna die on this hill. I'm okay with Lyra taking the pin on that. Gives Ivy Nile a small chance here. Who knows? Maybe she gets in that Intercontinental spot. Back into the Intercontinental.
Do you remember that arc a couple years ago when they randomly gave Ivy Nile a world title match?
Yeah.
That one hard. Against Rhea Ripley. Is this full? Is this long?
That was Road Dogg. Yeah. That was Road Dogg written all over it. I don't know. I know he's normally the SmackDown guy, but I just have a feeling Road Dogg's got some spelling all over it.
And then we had a couple of qualifying matches announced, and we already talked about one: Bailey, Asuka, and Natty, formerly known as Natalia. Who do you see winning that?
Natalie. I think she
I think
gets
that'd
it.
be interesting. I think I gotta go with Oscar there. I don't know.
I would want Oscar, but I just think Natalie's going to probably take over that and get the win there, especially with the whole shit going on with Maxine Dupree and all that. They're putting her into a storyline, into the show, into the weekly show, and getting her more involved in what she has been doing for the past couple years. Normally, she's just like kind of in the Royal Rumble, and she does her work at the Royal Rumble, and then like maybe she's on like a couple like tag team shows, like in SmackDown or whatnot. But then she's like kind of off the show. She's not really like in the main picture at all. Like you barely see her. This time, she's kind of had a purpose for herself as this new heel form, where she's been an asshole to Maxine Dupree. Fuck you, by the way. Maxine's doing the best she can. No, not you.
Okay.
So I think it's just going to be her with what they're trying to take her for right now. She's not going to win it though. I don't think she's going to win it.
Okay.
Like the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really think Oscar would win it either on my side for what I would pick. I feel like that would be interesting to revisit Oscar versus Jade because we saw that at the Queen of the Ring finals, although the match itself wasn't too great. Because they decided to do like a 5-minute match for some reason.
Jade Cargill looking a little bit like Goldberg.
We got Jadeberg out here.
Jadeberg. She's gonna start spinning and breathing heavy to the ring.
And then the other qualifying match we had announced for Raw was, and I think this has match of the year contender written on it. Javon Evans versus Gunther versus Dirty Dom. And I feel like this match could go really anyway. Could go anyway. Who do you see winning coming out of this?
So you would think the obvious answer would be Gunther, but honestly, I could have him getting pulled out, getting involved with something else, and like either one, more so Javon Evans getting the sneaky pin and win to get in. I think Gunther gets distracted or involved with something else. That doesn't take away the presence he has on the show as like this like big bad and the top heel of the company. But in all honesty, I think you might agree with this. He doesn't need a title right now with where he's going with his storyline. He's on a retirement tour. He does not need the title for that.
I agree. I think more importantly, he shouldn't get pinned. And I say that because if he ends up making the Elimination Chamber match, if he makes the Elimination Chamber match, he should just win it. He should win that match. He shouldn't lose in the
Elimination. Yeah, absolutely. That's why you don't want him in that in general. You don't want him in Elimination Chamber because he would have to get pinned, and I just don't see him winning a title.
Yeah, that's the problem I had with him being. That's the problem I had with him being like number 30 in the Rumble, because he lost. He ended up losing the Rumble. I think he was only in there for like 7 minutes, and you can make the argument that he was in the match or he was in a match earlier that night, but like regardless, I still feel like he shouldn't have at least lost in the Royal Rumble that early. I think Javon would be a really fun option because we did see him in the Royal Rumble. He was the Iron Man of that match, so I feel like it makes sense having him.
He earned his keep. He earned his keep to go into the Elimination Chamber in my eyes. But yeah. I could also see Dom, but it just makes more sense with Evans since he doesn't have a belt.
Well, and then we also you could build if you have Javon end up pinning Dom. You could build a couple storylines for him going for the Intercontinental Championship. Javon Evans has been in a couple of AAA. He's been in a couple AAA events, so you could build him up to be a contender against Dom for that belt too. Like you could really go either way with that. So if you do want to end up continuing building a feud there between those two, I feel like Javon makes the most sense in that match. Is there anything I'm missing
too? I
agree with that role?
Check real quick. For like the upcoming role, I don't think not that I know of. I do want to say this though. Gunther's got to have a match And with the way things are going right now, I wanted to bring this up in mind here. It just came up in my head. Do you see Gunther facing Randy Orton at WrestleMania?
I really hope not. I'll be
You
honest.
wouldn't want that?
Unless they, because I feel like it would be like for the career match. Unless they do it so it's not for like the career of Randy Orton, then I'd be okay with it. But if it was just like a one-on-one and they have a story to tell there, then I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, but then who would you want Gunther to face? Gunther's got to have a WrestleMania slot. Who would you want him to
Um,
play?
I could see, I could still see Rey Mysterio. We kind of talked about that in the first episode. Um, I could
But why would you want to
see.
face him without putting the career on the line, though?
That's exactly what he would do. That's exactly why. Um, I could also see someone like Jericho if he ends up making the bounce over.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that's a good one.
Um,
That'd be awesome.
I had another WrestleMania question that I was thinking about. So there were rumors. So Brock Lesnar is
Okay.
going to be on the next upcoming episode of Raw. Um, there were
Oh yeah,
rumors
that's right.
that LA Knight is going to be going against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Um, but obviously, it kind of seems like it's going to be more Oba Femi. So, which side do you kind of lean towards, or would you prefer?
Obafemi. I'd want LA Knight to have a title shot, if anything. Especially if he's in the Elimination Chamber. I would want him to win that. That would be my best bet. But there's a good chance he doesn't win that. But Obafemi just makes more sense as Brock Lesnar's opponent. Especially, I want to add this. I want Obafemi's first obstacle and first loss on the main roster here, like first official loss, to beat a Brock Lesnar. He's
I
going to
don't
lose
think he should lose
eventually.
that. I don't think he should lose against Brock Lesnar.
No, I think he
I
should.
think he should. I think he should be undefeated going into at least 20, like until at least next year.
That's a hot take. I
If they're
think
building him
he
up to be
gets
this
the
monster that could like defeat like anyone, really, I don't
well.
think
Why
his
not him
first
go
comes
against the
3
original
months in.
Beast? Because Brock Lesnar's
Well,
been
his whole
built up
thing,
to be this.
Obafemi's whole thing is that he wants to be or like change is inevitable and he is the change. So why would he lose his first like big feud?
It'd be the start of the feud. It'd be Obafemi's first loss to Brock, and then that feud would begin for Obafemi trying to go over the first hurdle that is Brock Lesnar. That
I
would
just
be his first
disagree.
thing.
I disagree.
I don't
I
think
feel
he
like
should be undefeated till 2027. That's insane.
I do.
In my
I
eyes.
100% do. They did
That'd be
something similar with Gunther. Gunther held a title for over 600 days when he first like joined the main roster.
yeah, but he got like some goofy losses where like he got count out and shit in between those.
Yeah, but that's not really like a loss. Like he didn't get pinned. If he's going against Brock Lesnar, he's going to get pinned. Oba is. And
Yeah,
if
but
he's going to
if
lose.
LA Knight goes against Brock Lesnar, Brock Lesnar's gonna whoop his ass. Like right
Yeah.
now,
Well, LA Knight
like that's just stupid.
like he doesn't have like an undefeated streak on the line here.
I know, but like it just wouldn't make sense to me if LA Knight was the one that would go against Brock Lesnar. It would make more sense that Brock Lesnar would go against Obafemi because that would be the closest matchup to him losing right now on the roster, other than Gunther. Because if you remember from, unfortunately, WrestlePalooza, he put belt to ass on John Cena. He like squashed him in like a couple minutes. So you already have Brock Lesnar as this top dog. Why not have him go against Obafemi and beat Obafemi's first obstacle, and then essentially give the keys to Obafemi when they finish the feud, by the end of the feud, where Obafemi finally defeats the Beast and he like takes over as the new Beast. I think I would like that personally. But listen, I do see the merits of what you're saying and him being undefeated through 2027. I do see the merits of that, and I see what that would do for him. But I just don't see it with Brock Lesnar.
Well, John Cena said that like the reason that they did the Brock Lesnar match the way they did it is so that it would build up Brock Lesnar for the person who ends up beating him. So he beat, he destroyed John Cena, which builds up the technical like hierarchy of Brock Lesnar. So why not have Obafemi beat him in their first match? I still don't understand it. I feel like he should 100% beat Brock Lesnar.
Because in my eyes at least, if you want him to beat to Brock Lesnar that quick, I guess I could see where you're coming from. But in my eyes at least, it would build the storytelling as Obafemi's first obstacle on the main roster, essentially.
You could do
'Cause he
that.
never
And
got
you could show that he could overcome obstacles too. Because I feel like the allure of Obafemi is that he's this monster that's going to be really hard to defeat. And if you just have him lose this quick, like it would be only 3 months in. I feel like you want him to be the guy that, and especially the way they're pushing him, I could see them making him the guy like really quick.
It's just where we disagree on, man. You gotta. Just in my eyes, you could build a story off this of him being this Brock Lesnar being the original Beast, giving him his first loss, and then him giving the keys to that in another match, like maybe at SummerSlam, where he
I think
finally takes the win off him.
I think you have Triple H brain, and you're just all you're thinking about is long-term storytelling.
I'm just saying. I'm saying like that. Brock Lesnar. I don't see Brock Lesnar losing that early. I mean, it'd be cool. Like, I wouldn't hate it. I'm not saying I would hate it. I'm just saying what I think would happen. That's all. I just think
should win against Brock
take.
Lesnar, and then he should win a world title at SummerSlam.
I mean, I could see it if it's going by the if he beats Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Yeah, he's gonna have to get a world title at freaking SummerSlam. Like, come on. Like, if you're gonna like make him be this beast so early on, so fast, yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Then, if he loses to Brock Lesnar, he should get a title at SummerSlam.
I think you just don't think. I think you think Brock Lesnar's going to beat Obafemi because Brock Lesnar typically beats black wrestlers in matches.
No, not like no. I'm saying it because I want it to be essentially it's the original Beast versus the new gen Beast, and the original Beast gets the upper hand the first time, but in the next matchup, the next big matchup, it's like the passing of the torch. Brock Lesnar loses clean to Obafemi.
So why can you not do the passing of the torch the first match?
Because I just want to see that matchup over multiple matches. That's all. Like, I don't know. Me as a fan, I would love to see that matchup more than once. I know we might not get that with Brock Lesnar, but that's why I said I wouldn't mind if he does win at WrestleMania and that's that. But like, it'd be cool as a fan to see that match multiple times over a period of time, maybe at least twice in my head. I just want to see two big beasts battling each other in the ring more than once. And I think you can do that. You can complete that with having that little storyline of the passing of the torch. At the very least, Obafemi like beating him the second time, or you can make it like a best 2 out of 3 where it's like 3 matches total. Obafemi beats him the third like 2 times in a row and gets the win. I don't know. Like that's just where my head's at. Right
I disagree. I'm gonna be honest.
That's okay. It's fine.
It's not okay.
It's you know what? It's not okay. It's not okay. This is 2 points. You've disagreed with me.
No, you've disagreed with me.
No, this is 2 points to disagree with me, pal. I'm not liking this. Overall, though, these weekly shows have been really good, other than the Collision. Ooh. But before we cap off this episode, we do got to talk about NXT, my friend. We got to get that lightning round
NXT. All right, lightning round. I'm gonna keep this very short because, it's already been almost a week for NXT, so I don't remember too much. But I did write down some of the notes, so I'll go through the big main important stuff. So first off, the show started with Joe Hendry, and he just won the NXT Championship. We talked about that the last episode. He won a really good ladder match. One of the people who was in that match was Jackson Drake, um,
Okay.
who's part of a faction called the Vanity Project. Jackson Drake, I do really like his work so far. He hasn't been on NXT too often because he's on Evolve, and he's actually the Evolve men's champion.
Yeah.
Um, and so he ended up interrupting Joe Hendry, and he had a lot of the crowd was really hot on him, on Jackson Drake, which I thought he did a great job in that promo. He ended up calling his shot and had a match with Joe Hendry later that night. Joe Hendry ended up retaining the title.
Joe Hendry.
And then following that, Ricky Saints came out of nowhere and attacked Joe Hendry, and did the vintage, grabbing the title, holding it up, and kind of calling a shot, which I find very interesting because during the ladder match, it kind of seemed like it was Joe Hendry and Ricky Saints were the two biggest threats. So I'm surprised they're doing this match this early on, and I don't know if it's coming up soon, if they'll hold it until Stand and Deliver, which is WrestleMania weekend. So I guess we'll see where they end up going with that one. The other very big thing I wanted to touch on that happened, we saw the number one contender match for the women's title, which was a tag match, and whoever won the pinfall got the title opportunity. Throughout the entire episode, Zarya was trying to make a point to Sol Ruka that Zarya needs to have her turn because Sol Ruka keeps getting all these opportunities. She's had a shot at the Women's Championship. She's had a shot in the Royal Rumble. She was on the John Cena retirement match card. So we saw Zarya versus Sol Ruka versus Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair. Also want to put this out there. Kendall Gray, I think, is the future of the women's division and on the main roster. She's amazing.
All right.
So we had these guys face off. Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair, they were on the same page. They didn't really care who won. They just wanted one of them to win the opportunity. So the match happened. It was a great match. Sol Ruka ended up winning the number one opportunity, and Zarya was pissed. So I guess this begs the question: will they pull the trigger once this match ends up happening? I believe it happens in 2 weeks. Or will they kind of hold on to that heel turn happening a little bit longer?
No, they gotta pull the trigger. I think it's been going on long enough, and it's at its boiling point right now. You got to pull the trigger at that moment. And plus, Sol Ruka's ready to go. Sol Ruka's ready to go to the main roster at this point. SmackDown needs her. She needs to get her inaugural Michin dumpster match. So it needs to happen. Definitely when that match comes around, as soon as possible, to get Sol Ruka up there. And because Zarya is a great wrestler too, so Zarya needs to have her moments on NXT to eventually get her back up to the main roster, not back up to the main roster.
Yeah. Well, I could see Sol Ruka winning this title because that's the one thing that really she hasn't really done in NXT. So I could see her winning it, and then Zarya does the whole heel turn stuff. I could see Fatal Influence, who is JC Jane and her faction. I could see them being called up. JC Jane has been great. She's been featured on a lot of the main roster shows now. And then Fallon Henley and I can't remember her name, the third one, because she was just recently added into the group. But they've all looked really good. And
that's good.
They all deserve to be on the main roster, and I feel like we don't really have a women's faction right now, so I feel like they could fill that role of being a dominant women's faction if they wanted to. Okay, and then that could lead us to Zarya and Sol Ruka, and that could honestly main event Stand and Deliver if they wanted it to, because that has a big hot story on it.
Oh yeah. Who else would even do that? Who else would be the Stand and Deliver main event? Who would you?
Joe Hendry.
Okay.
Joe Hendry concert.
Yeah, I love that. I'd watch that.
That'll be the main event. He has no opponent. It's just a concert.
Woo! All right, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, so that was that for NXT.
Those were like the big major things that I really needed to touch on.
Good. All right. Well, I think that you got anything else for. So
I don't know.
For next week, for Wednesday's, or well, I guess for you guys, Thursday's episode, we already went over a lot of the AEW stuff that we would have talked about on that episode. But on this episode is an extra long episode, so we'll come up with something. We'll come up with like maybe
It'll be
like
more like an opinion based.
Yeah, we can make we can make like an opinion based podcast to fill a lot of the time. And obviously, we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw and the results of that when that comes around. Tune in Tuesday for Overtime, episode 2 of Overtime. Very excited for that. We're going to talk about free agency of the Eagles, just an overall Eagles episode. And, of course, what's been going on with the NBA. And
yeah, we do have a couple other things we need to add in there, too, that happened throughout the week.
Yeah, there's been a couple things in the NBA that's happened. Yeah, we will. And nothing. I'll keep it spoiler here. Nothing's really been going on with the Flyers, so we're not really going to talk about them. They've been pretty quiet on the trade deadline.
Well, we could talk about Bobby Brink not being included in the Olympics.
He's hurt. He's hurt, man. I know. It's a sad tear. Puts a tear in the eye. It's unfortunate for the boy. But yeah, I mean, I don't really got anything else. Tune in, fellas. Tune in. We got a very opinionated wrestling podcast episode next week.
Sounds like you're dragging it, bro.
Yeah, we're dragging it, bro.